I've been getting a lot of comments and questions about the Samsung Galaxy A53 5G on the heels of the price drop, $350 now for this device. Link will be in the description for that. And people asking, is it worth it at $350, especially in comparison to something like the Nord N20? And it was about time for a video on it anyway, because I've gotten an update now in the United States on T-Mobile. It's running the June security patch, even though it's July. I only got it a week ago. So I don't know if there was a delay there or something went on, or they're counting that as the July patch as well. But I wanted to go over kind of the performance enhancements and did it get better, because a lot of people on my other videos just completely hammering this device, and rightfully so. This thing stunk, as you can see a little bit of lag there. It was absolutely unusable. As Bart Scott, former New York Jets linebacker, would say, this phone, when it came out, absolutely needed Metamucil because a you-know-what isn't regular. It was borderline where 50% of what you were doing would feature lag. This was not a device that could walk and chew gum at the same time. Now it's a device that you could walk and maybe enjoy a Tic Tac. All right, I'm not going to be as ambitious as gum, but we're going to try a Tic Tac and go on from there. $350, is it worth it? I'm going to say yes. At least it's in the ballpark, especially if you're getting a deal through a T-Mobile or a carrier, where I've heard people paying that now $0 for this. This was on a deal for T-Mobile for I think $100, in which case I would hold off, especially since they were offering some other devices that I thought were significantly better performers for nothing down at least, or no money, and you could go ahead and make your monthly payments, or it was just free with a new line. Now, if they're offering this free with a new line, it's at least worth considering, because unlike where, like I said, 50% of the time you were doing an action, you'd experience lag. Now it's like every 5 to 10 minutes, you'll have one hiccup. So you'll be going along almost, forgetting that it has lag and having some problems. It's actually performing as a $50 device should, and then all of a sudden you'll swipe up to go back to the home screen from Twitter, and it wouldn't recognize you were doing for 2 and 3 swipes, and you're sitting there for 3 and 4 and 5 seconds wondering what the heck's going on. I had it just a little while ago where I was in Twitter. I went to swipe up, waited a second, did it again, did it a third time, and it actually went out and then reopened the app. And it was just like, what are you doing? So at times you're going to get the performance of a $450 device, and then at times you're going to get the performance of a $200 device. So I guess Samsung figured we'll split the difference. We'll make it $350, and hopefully people have less of an issue with it. The lag, the part that makes the lag annoying, and people are like, oh, show the lag on cam. You can't. There's no rhyme or reason, because there'll be times when it absolutely is silky smooth. Like now, you get to enjoy the 120 hertz refresh rate on an absolutely fantastic Samsung panel. You get to enjoy the performance that you think you should be getting out of a $450 device. But then it'll hit you. And it's not, I thought maybe it was multitasking. Perhaps the Exynos couldn't handle it. Maybe it was a RAM issue. None of that. You will be doing the same thing 10 minutes later and get lag that you were not getting 10 minutes previous. Bizarre. The other main thing that they improved about this device was, I don't even know how they did it, but the touch sampling, or the touch sensitivity. So it had a 120 hertz display, and that's nice, and you got the benefit of that sometimes while you were gaming or it was really focused in, and when it was running well, you could feel how smooth that was. But even when it was running well, I still had problems where it felt like my finger was in quicksand. It felt like I was doing heavy lifting to get it to scroll. Like the touch sampling, while the screen may have been 120 hertz, the touch sampling felt like it was locked at 30 hertz. Just unreal, where you were just struggling through the device. That's a little hiccup, but that's not even bad. That's not even bad from what the device was. It's tough to tell on camera, but it are things that jar you a little bit in person. But now you could get through using it for long periods without that hiccup. There are reasons why you'd want this device, though. You are getting Samsung One UI, which a lot of people like. I happen to like as well. You are getting a better camera than something like the Nord N20. The Samsung camera is more diverse, and there's more versatility with all these lenses on the back here, and the pictures do look quite nice. You are getting 120 hertz, as we talked about. A fantastic build, by the way. I love a flat display like this. I love the design. I love how thin it is, how light it is. And then, of course, you got this kind of matte finish and unibody design on the back. They have improved it. It's nice to know that they were able to improve it. I was worried. I thought maybe the Exynos 1280 in here was just unsalvageable. It's not. Little odd. I mean, like we said before about devices, did they get a gold star for being able to get their device in line? No. Did nobody use it before they put it out? Maybe you hold it back a month or so. I don't know why that's become such a third rail where companies feel the need to put these devices out in an exact time in a specific setting, and even if it's not ready to go, take the extra month. We don't need to be beta testers for that month. Get your problems sorted out and release a product that we want to use, especially if it's something that you knew you could fix. Battery life is still the same. I'm getting about 5.5 hours, but there's been no standby drain, which is nice because I've left it on 5G, and unlike a lot of other devices, even in the Samsung line, the Samsung S22 Ultra, forget it. You put it down for 5 minutes, and it feels like you've bled off 20% of battery life. No such issues with the A53 5G. This is one that I was absolutely disappointed in when it released. It was one that I wanted to throw at the wall. I very rarely get angry about devices, but this was a perfect storm because the build was good, the name, the label, Samsung, they put something out there charging $450, a range that you feel like they could really put something excellent out and break the category, and this had all the potential to do it when it first was released, or the idea of it. 120 hertz display, good amount of RAM, just expandable storage, the OLED panel, just things that you'd really like, fantastic design, good camera, and they just came out with completely trash performance that made me angry because I picked it up and I liked it and I wanted to use it and the form factor was good and a good fingerprint sensor and all the rest of it, and then you'd use it and it just stunk. And that's and then they charge, and you could stink, but don't charge all the money for stink. If you're gonna stink, charge $200, $300, all right? And they didn't do that. They were charging all the money, and it wasn't good. But you give it some time. Now with the price drop, now with the software somewhat in line, there's still work to do. Like I said, you can't. It's not acceptable to have those lag hiccups every 5 or 10 minutes either, or to be sitting there and scrolling up through an app 3 and 4 times just to get the thing to close. Or sometimes what will happen is you'll hit an app and it won't open, and you'll have to hit it 2 or 3 times to get it to catch up. But there's just these weird bottlenecks, like those old school processors on your old Pentium 2 PC back in the day when I guess you did a couple too many things on Windows, and it just said, well, hold on, Chief. All right, easy now. Okay, give me a minute to process all this. That's what it feels like sometimes on your Exynos A53 5G. $350, is it worth it? Yeah, if you got to trade in, you could get it even sub $300, or you get it free through a T-Mobile or a Straight Talk or something like that. And Mint Mobile, I don't know if they offer deals, but whoever you'd be getting it through, is it worth it at that point? I believe so. I think you're getting your money's worth for something like this. So I'm glad to see them drop the price. I'm glad to see finally a software update. It came in a little bit late, but I'm glad to see a software update come in and address some of the problems. I'm glad that the problems are able to be addressed, that it's not tough. It's a hardware issue. The Exynos, it is what it is, and you're going to have to deal with the lag. I appreciate that they were able to come in and do some of the work with the device, because there is a lot to like here as far as the build and the display. And if you could get the performance in line with that, then you absolutely have something that would be worth it at $350. So better. A lot of people said to wait and hold on, and I wasn't being fair. I'll tell you this. So he turned out to be right as far as waiting, sort of. Like I said, it's better, but it's not quite there yet. But at the same time, they released it. They asked for all your money up front. You paid the $450. You paid whatever out of pocket, all up front, before you were sent a device. So you should have been sent a device that was working to at least a standard when you were sent it originally. So I applaud them for going to work, taking a couple months, but getting it somewhat in line to what you'd expect at this price point. But you don't get a gold star for that. Release it like this. If you have to delay, let's normalize delaying products a month or so to have them come out working to a standard that you'd expect for the money that you're paying. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.